Hello, this is Toby, the Galactic Intuitive. How are you guys doing today? Today, I want to talk about something related, piggybacking on what we talked about yesterday, about truths being revealed as actual instead of being truths, belief systems, or structures. And what we spoke about yesterday was in relation to those being revealed on the macro level. So something beyond the scope of your individual life, something certainly that could or has had impact upon you and has impacted your own experience of reality, potentially. But something that is, again, has been the thing about these belief systems is that they, in what we spoke about yesterday, they've been created by either it was a collective, not a collective creation, but like a structural creation that occurred on a national level or a community level or an organizational level, sometimes a global level. What's interesting, I think, and something that is important for us to consider is that as we are approaching or moving towards these revelations occurring, right? And we talked about preparation. It's really also important for us to recognize that we've gone through this process, and I know many of you or all of you are already sensing this, but there's something about putting words to it as well that I think allows us to soak in the awareness on a deeper level. Even maybe it allows us to have the mental comprehension as well as the energetic comprehension. And by having the mental comprehension, that's when then it translates into our behavior patterns. So this is why I'm talking about it. It may seem a bit of I can't talk now. It may seem a little bit like a repeat of yesterday, but we're going a little bit deeper. So through our spiritual awakening and ascension process so far, certainly there have been, let's go start with the hair. Certainly there have been many times, I'm sure, for all of you, when you have felt what feels like the earth shake under your feet when through this process you have you've either created awareness, you've allowed or you've opened to an awareness, or this awareness has been revealed to you through even a situation or a relationship that literally shakes the foundation of the reality that you've existed within up until that point. And what I find super fascinating, honestly, about this whole process for us as individuals, and then I want to take it and expand it out to the macro level. So what I find really interesting is that, again, as to what we said yesterday, it's a matter of what our choices are from that point, right? But before we get to the point of making new choices or being, finding ourselves in the space of being, of the awareness of the availability even of the new choice, this is what it really comes down to, is that because this truth, but a belief system, was interwoven or even created the foundation of the reality that we were existing within, at some point it becomes so ingrained that we aren't even aware of its existence. We aren't even aware of its existence. I mean, it's when you walk around every day, often in our day-to-day lives, we don't think about the layers. Now, maybe if you're a geologist, you do, but we don't. As we're walking around in our daily existence, we're not necessarily having awareness of the layers of the Earth's crust or the Earth's surface below our feet, right? I have a wing. Okay, we're not gonna, we're not, we don't have awareness of that necessarily, right? It's just something that is. It's something that is. It's present in everyday life. It's always present. We take it for granted, right? But it forms the foundational structure of literally where we place our feet, our steps as we go forward. Well, the same is true of these belief systems. I keep wanting to say belief structures because they go beyond systems. They are so foundational that they are the structure oftentimes that our reality is held within. So we operate in this reality. Oftentimes we're not aware. You can't see my hands because they're too low. We're not aware of the structure that is holding that reality in place. And so we may be doing things in our reality to shift our behavior, to shift our experience, to enter into different environments, different relationships, do exploratory type actions or behaviors. So it shifts our reality. However, that belief structure remains the same. So, however, as we expand, right, as we expand and we grow, there comes a point in time when this structure is no longer going to hold us. We're going to expand until there's a crack in the structure. I love this analogy that they're giving me just now because I didn't have this before. So there's going to be a crack in the structure. That's what allows us to see the actual structure itself. Okay, are you putting this together with me? This is fantastic. I love how they're bringing this through. Okay, so this is what allows us to actually see the structure, because now there's shifting underneath our feet, right? We're still in this reality, but the shifting can be sensed. And at some point it becomes so wobbly that we can actually see the fissure. We can see where the surface of the earth, it's just like when there's an earthquake, right? And this is what we were talking about in that elemental reading the other day. Just like with an earthquake, we don't pay attention to the layers of the earth's surface, of the earth's crust. But when there's an earthquake, it's visible for us to see it because literally the ground has cracked open. There's a fissure and we can now see it. And so the same is true for us as we're moving through this expansion. We've reached a point where these structures can no longer hold us. And so that's why these things are being revealed now. Oh, this is what they're coming to. Okay. So that's, you guys are taking this journey with me. I love it. So this is why this is occurring now, because our realities, right, have expanded to the point that these structures can no longer hold us. We're having cracks and fissures everywhere. And the more that happen, the bigger they get, the more readily we're able to see, or the more visible they are for us to see them, to witness them, to observe them, to have full awareness of them. Because now we can see down into the fissures and see those structures that have been in place and recognize where they were faulty, pardon the pun, but how and where they were faulty, and how and where they were created by illusions even. Because oftentimes these structures, the reason why they don't grow with us is because they are, I'm hearing, predicated on illusions of suppression and restriction. And there's one more, give me just a second. Suppression, restriction, and oh, my heart chakra is just like on fire. Okay. Ooh, breathe with me. Ooh, wow. Okay, suppression, restriction, and that's not a pretty word. Coercion, manipulation. Okay, so this is why they're not expanding with us, because they are not in alignment with our expansion. The frequencies that we are now holding are literally too big for these false belief structures, right? These false truths of our reality. They're these structures that kept us in this pretty little neat container, and we have grown beyond that. The same is happening. Okay, so this is where we go from the micro. This is what we were considering the micro view, right, of us in our individual lives, but it also applies to the collective and on a global scale. As a collective, we are now expanding beyond these belief structures. And this is why these things are being revealed to us. And so this is a unique and, what are they saying? Give me just a second. Unique, exemplary, and what is that word? It starts with a P. What is that word? I can't quite get it. It's not profound. Anyway, I'm not gonna get stuck on that. A unique and exemplary opportunity. There's prodigious. Is that the right word for this? I'm not really sure. Opportunity for us to witness. Ooh, okay, I see where they're going with this. For us to witness these cracks and fissures. Now, here's the thing, and this is where we get to what are the choices we're going to making from this point. Even backing up from that just a little bit before we get to the point of accepting that these things are being revealed, we actually we don't have to, but in order to get to the point of making a new choice, creating a new structure, we have to accept and be willing. We have to be willing to accept what we're seeing in these revelations. This is where the discernment comes in. This is where being really grounded and really aware of your chakras. It's come back around to me about this expansion. I know we talked about this a couple of months ago, this expansion of our chakras. And we talked about this in relation to, I think it had to do with time when we talked about that and had the workshop on time and how our expansion of our light body and the cellular changes and holding more photons, expressing more photons, emitting more photons is changing our energetic body as well as our physical body, but it's creating this, like, I don't have enough field space here, frame space, expansion of our chakras. So being really in tune with your physical body, your energetic body, and because it's having that awareness and grounding into Mother Earth, being in touch with your Earth Star chakra so that you can ground really deeply into her and connect into her frequency and the central sun within her. This shirt's bothering me. Sorry. Is going to be so important as we move through this next phase, because it's all of those things working together in tandem that are going to help you to say, I am centered, I am grounded, I am in a place where I can witness and accept what I'm witnessing and maintain my balance, maintain my center, maintain my peace, because that is out there. And this cracking open of these structures is revealing to us where the limitations were. It is confirmation and validation that we are moving beyond that. I mean, we know we're doing that individually, but we are doing that collectively as well. Does it look pretty? No, it's not going to look pretty. But what we do with that information and how we process it and how the stories we tell around it are what are going to inform the energy around that when we go into then being able to make the choices of what are our next steps. So this is really important, guys. This is really, really important. Being able to accept what we're seeing and maintaining that balance and that sense of peace is what allows us then to say, okay, we know what this is. We see it for what it is. Is it easy to see that? No, it's not. Is it difficult to wrap our heads around what has happened in the past and all the things that we experienced because of that? Yes, it is. Am I going to stay focused and go down the rabbit hole of that and get sucked into it? No, I'm not. I'm going to take this knowledge and I'm going to take my centered beingness and my grounded energetic frequency and my alignment with my truth, and I'm going to say, okay, what am I going to create from here now? What am I going to create from here now? Because the restrictions have broken open. I am able to expand even further than I ever knew was possible because I was living within these belief structures that I didn't even know I was living in before. Didn't even know they existed. So now my expansion potential is infinite. It's limitless. So what are the choices am I going to make with that knowledge? This is pretty profound. I mean, this is good shit. Pardon my French. This is really good stuff. I mean, we've been working towards this. We have been working towards this. So I'm not going to tell you what to do, what not to do. However, I am going to say take a deep breath and be very, very, very intentional with how you perceive and what stories you tell around what is being revealed. Because that is the energy that you then take, or that you are projecting into what the next reality is, the next moment is, the next now moment is. So if you're looking at what's being revealed and you're getting caught up in the what was and getting into a victim mentality of, but they did this to me, it's over and done. It's over and done. And you're actually already expanded beyond it. And that's why you're seeing it now. So don't go back into the victim mentality of this story of restriction. Yes. Was it present? Yeah, it was present. Yeah. Did it happen? Yes, it happened. What are you going to do now? What are you going to do now? Are you going to continue to live in it by continuing to tell that story to other people or just in your head? You might as well actually be living in it, because as far as the universe is concerned, as far as the frequency is that you're sending out, it's the stories you're telling in your head. That's the energy that you're embodying. So are you going to continue to live in a structure now that's broken and you have the potential to recreate something new and beautiful and limitless and infinite? Or are you going to carry around the old story? Why? So, wow. All right. Well, that got intense. Whew. My team is on it, man. Okay. So, put your hands out in front of you. Hold them like this. You are breaking these structures open. We are breaking these structures open. The fissures might be small right now, but they're about to get a lot bigger, a lot bigger. We're going to be able to see down into the depths. We're going to be able to see the layers. And again, as we said yesterday, it might be a thing where it cracks open and it takes a little bit of digging and question asking to be able to understand what those layers mean. And there is value in that. And at the same time, we need to have the discernment to know how far to go with that, to know ourselves. And it's going to vary for each of us too. It's not like it's a blanket. Well, we can only go to the depth of 6 feet before we all fall into the hole again. It's going to vary for each of us because each of us is different with how we process things and how we handle that type of situation, that type of energy. So having discernment about what is good for me, what is good for you, for who you are as a person, for your frequency, for your energy, for your alignment, for your sovereignty, and how far you need to go into that. And I say need because truly it's how far do you need to go into that? Is it, I can take a glance at it, I can see it, I can witness it, I can say, okay, I see it now, I understand, and I know what decisions to make from here? Okay, then that's enough. Do you need to go a little bit further? Okay, go a little bit further, but only you can determine how far you need to go. And so being very discerning about it is very, very important, because it is going to be, there is the potential to get sucked back into the drama of it, the victimhood energy of it, the like attaching to the restriction of it, even though, because it's visible, is proof that you are no longer attached to it. So don't go jumping back into the cage when the door's open. Don't go jumping back into the cage. Okay. Wow. That was intense. But really important. Really, really important. I mean, my heart chakra is still like, it feels like it's been blown wide open. And that is indicative of what we're going to feel. And we have to choose that too. We can choose to feel that as a, and I'm speaking energetically here, I'm not speaking physically. We can choose to feel it as a pain, as if our heart has been wounded, right? Or we can choose to feel it as we've been freed. We've been freed. It's intense. It's intense. And it's amazing. I mean, how beautiful is this that we're witnessing every day. We're witnessing more proof of the breaking open of the restrictions. And does it come about in those whoever formed that structure, that belief structure, to create the restrictions, in trying to tie it all back together and make it tighter and tighter and tighter? Sure, of course, yeah, of course it's gonna happen. It doesn't mean you have to, you don't have to accept that. You don't have to accept that as your reality. They can do that over there all they want. That doesn't bother me. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to you. Because again, we need to also be very aware of the polarity of it, of the macro versus the micro. Not versus, but in relation. The micro and the macro as two sides of the same coin, right? So, yeah, as above, so below. Okay. I think that's enough for today. Let's pull a card though. Let's pull a card to support all of us in this. We're going to do a card from the Intuitive Whispers Oracle deck. It is a lovely deck by Maud Hurst. All right, let's see. Just one card. One card in support of what we've just spoken about. The messages, you don't want to shuffle. The messages we've just received. Thank you to my team for those important messages. Thank you guys for being here as I'm shuffling. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow me on TikTok, on YouTube. Okay. One card, please. Y'all. Become your own priority. Card number 13. Card number 13 in the tarot is the Tower. It is the crumbling of the structures that are no longer viable. Become your own priority. I mean, there's nothing else I need to say about that. This is just what we were talking about. That is so freaking perfect. And you know, look, it's got little doggy footprints right there. And then the ruins. But from the ruins, something new can be rebuilt. Become your own priority. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. All right, we are going to end it there. Oh, I did want to say one thing about, I talked about the Pradva technique the other day. In the next week and a half or so, I am going to, well, in the next few days, I'll be putting out an announcement of an information on a Zoom link. Let me see if I can get my words together. A webinar style Zoom meetup where I will lead you through the Pradva technique, explain how that works, and then that way you guys can ask questions too. It will be recorded and will be available on my website afterwards if you're not able to make the live meeting. It will be a donation-based event as well. There won't be a minimum. If you're not able to donate and you still want to participate, I want everybody to be able to take advantage of it. However, if you would like to donate, that option will be available as well. So look for that in the next few days. I'm thinking it'll be the weekend of the last full weekend in September. I'm not sure what day. So just keep an eye out for that. I'll have that announced by this weekend. So we have about a week to plan for it. Okay, long enough. It's almost 30 minutes. Oh my goodness. All right, sending you guys so much love. Thank you so much for being here, and be your own priority. You've got this. All right, I will see you tomorrow. Thank you, thank you, thank you.